Miguel Santos was born in one of the poorest neighborhoods on the edge of Cebu City, where narrow alleys were always alive with the sounds of traffic, vendors shouting prices, and radios playing old love songs. Their home was a small, tin-roofed room that leaked during the rainy season and grew unbearably hot under the afternoon sun. Miguel lived there with his mother, Rosa, who worked long hours selling banana Q and fish balls near a modest roadside hotel. His father had left years ago, and from a very young age, Miguel understood that survival depended on effort, patience, and hope. School was important to him, but many days he went with an empty stomach, carrying dreams much bigger than his worn-out slippers. Music entered Miguel's life naturally, like breathing. He did not own a phone, a radio, or a television. Instead, he learned songs by listening. When hotel guests opened their windows at night, melodies drifted down into the street, love songs, pop hits, and sometimes sad ballads that seemed to echo his own feelings. Miguel memorized every note. After helping his mother pack up her small stall in the evening, he would stand near the hotel gate, close his eyes, and sing. At first, his voice was soft and unsure, but with time it grew strong, filled with emotion beyond his years. People walking by slowed their steps, surprised to hear such a powerful sound coming from a skinny boy with dusty clothes. Miguel did not sing for money at first. He sang because it made the hunger feel lighter and the long days feel shorter. Singing allowed him to forget the fear of eviction, the embarrassment of wearing the same clothes to school, and the sadness he saw in his mother's eyes when sales were poor. When he sang, he imagined a different future, one where his mother rested, where he finished school, and where music could become more than just a way to pass time. Some hotel workers began to recognize him, smiling when they heard his voice. A few guests dropped coins into his hand, not out of pity, but because they felt something real in his songs. His mother worried about him standing outside at night, but she also saw how singing gave Miguel strength. She would sit nearby, listening quietly, sometimes wiping tears as she watched her son pour his heart into every lyric. Miguel often sang Filipino classics mixed with English songs he barely understood, yet somehow delivered with perfect emotion. The streetlights above him flickered, the smell of fried food hung in the air, and traffic horns blended into the background as his voice rose above everything. For a few minutes, the busy street of Cebu City became his stage. Unknown to Miguel, those small moments were shaping his destiny. Each song he sang outside that hotel carried his struggles, his love for his mother, and his unspoken dreams. He did not know where life would take him, but deep inside, he believed that if he kept singing honestly, someone, somewhere, would listen. Miguel never imagined that a single video could change his life. One evening, as he sang outside the familiar hotel in Cebu City, a foreign guest stood quietly across the street, listening from start to finish. Unlike others who recorded briefly and walked away, this person stayed, eyes fixed on Miguel, clearly moved. When the song ended, the guest approached him, praised his voice, and asked simple questions about his life. Miguel answered shyly, unaware that his story and voice were being captured and would soon travel far beyond that street. Days later, hotel staff told Miguel that the video had been shared online. He did not understand what viral meant, but he noticed more people stopping to listen, more phones pointed in his direction, and more encouragement than ever before. Weeks passed, and then something unbelievable happened. Miguel and his mother were contacted by people who help young talents. They spoke about an audition for America's Got Talent. At first, Miguel thought it was a joke. America felt like another world, too far away for a boy who had barely left Cebu City. His mother was afraid of hope, afraid of disappointment, but she also saw a light she had never seen before in her son's eyes. With support from kind strangers and organizations, Miguel found himself on a plane for the first time in his life, holding his mother's hand tightly as clouds passed beneath them. Stepping onto the AGT stage was overwhelming. The lights were blinding, the audience enormous, and the judges' table felt miles away. Miguel's hands shook as he introduced himself. In simple words, he explained that he used to sing outside a hotel to help his mother survive. His voice cracked, not from fear alone, but from the weight of memories, hungry nights, long walks home, and songs sung under flickering streetlights. The audience listened closely, sensing the truth behind every word. When the music began, Miguel closed his eyes, just as he did back in Cebu City. The stage disappeared. In his mind, he was once again standing on that familiar sidewalk, singing with his heart exposed. His voice started gently, then grew stronger, filling the theater with raw emotion. Every note carried struggle, hope, and sincerity. The audience became silent, then slowly emotional. Some wiped tears, others held their breath. Miguel sang as if his life depended on it, because in many ways, it did. By the final note, the entire room erupted. The crowd rose to their feet, cheering loudly. Miguel stood frozen, shocked by the sound of applause meant for him. He searched for his mother in the crowd and saw her crying, hands clasped in prayer. For the first time, Miguel realized that his voice had taken him far beyond the streets of Cebu City. He had not just sung a song, he had shared his soul, and the world had listened. Miguel stood quietly at the center of the stage as the applause continued, his chest rising and falling fast, his eyes wide with disbelief. He had never heard a crowd cheer like that before. Back in Cebu City, a few claps or kind smiles were already enough to make him happy. Here, thousands of people were on their feet because of his voice. The judges looked at him with expressions that mixed surprise, admiration, and deep emotion. Miguel tried to stay strong, but his hands trembled as he waited for their words. Simon Cowell leaned forward, resting his hands on the desk. His face was serious, the way it often was before he spoke honestly. Simon said that he had heard many singers over the years, trained voices and perfect performances, but what made Miguel special was not perfection, it was truth. He explained that Miguel's voice carried real life, real pain, and real hope, and that was something money could not buy or teach. Simon added that the moment Miguel started singing, the entire room felt connected to him, as if everyone understood his story without needing more explanation. Another judge praised Miguel's courage, saying it takes incredible strength for a young boy to stand on such a huge stage and sing from the heart. The judges talked about how Miguel reminded them why the show exists, to give people with pure talent and powerful stories a chance to be seen. As they spoke, Miguel felt tears streaming down his face. He thought of his mother selling food late at night, of the cracked pavement where he used to stand and sing, and of every moment he almost gave up. Then, in a moment Miguel would never forget, one judge stood up, smiled at him warmly, and slammed the golden buzzer. The sound echoed through the theater as golden confetti exploded from above. Miguel dropped to his knees, covering his face, overwhelmed by joy and disbelief. His mother rushed to the stage, hugging him tightly as they cried together. Simon smiled and clapped, nodding in approval, knowing something life-changing had just happened. As gold rained down, Miguel understood that his journey, from singing outside a small hotel in Cebu City to standing under bright lights, was only beginning. His story had done more than earn a golden buzzer, it had spread hope, inspired millions, and truly lived up to the heart of Spread the Smile.